Welcome to room 504 at the Balmoral Hotel in the centre of Edinburgh, Scotland. It's a one-bedroom suite, but as is becoming tradition with this channel, let's start in the bathroom. Well, or the powder room in this case. It's got a sink and a toilet, plenty of marble, and not much else. But what more do you need in a second hotel bathroom? It's well lit and extremely clean. Heading down the entrance hall brings us to the main living area. It features two, bust nooks, which sounds dirty but is in fact not. There's a dining table over here on this side of the room with complimentary still and sparkling water. The TV sits atop this tiger wood furniture piece, which is actually the entire minibar. We'll take a closer look at the offerings later, but it's got tea and coffee facilities, as well as some glassware and other snacks. On the other side is a spacious enough safe and a fridge. We were told upon checking in that everything in the minibar was complimentary, including alcohol. Though there was also a price list, which was weird, but we weren't charged for any use of the minibar. To the left of the TV is a desk, a rather large gilded bookshelf, and the other nook with a bust in it. The couch is large and comfortable enough. You can see that these bust nooks are no joke in size, and of course are just part of the architecture, which dates back to 1895, the building having opened as the North British Station Hotel in 1902. Getting back to the desk for a moment, they thoughtfully left out a Universal International AC adapter. Always a great touch. Heading into the bedroom, we find a large king-size bed, nightstands with conveniently placed outlets, a little sitting area, a second television, and over here in the corner is an unexpected makeup area squirreled away in its own turret. The main bathroom is through here, past a closet area that we'll take a look at in a moment. The bathroom is done up in whites and grays, and although having a luxurious and well-fitted look, it feels a bit clinical. The harsh white daylight LEDs certainly don't help, as they contrast sharply with the warm white of the rest of the suite. A bathtub does make up for that. The shower is also nothing to write home about, being adequately sized but by no means large. It also suffered from poor drainage, but I'll give certain things like that a pass in such an old building. Though I'll note that according to the website, the bathrooms on the 5th and 6th floors were retrofitted in 2009. Also notable is that the castle-facing bedrooms, such as this one, were redone in 2017, so I'm not sure what that means for the other bedrooms and bathrooms in the hotel. They may be a bit more old-fashioned. I wouldn't be doing my usual job if I didn't note that the toilet paper is mid-tier at best. Not as thin as you'd find in public restrooms, but definitely not top of the line. The toilet itself is small but serviceable, with a powerful flush. It wasn't until much later that I realized there was a photo of a scene from the James Bond film Dr. No above the toilet. That seemed weird and contradictory to the decor, but it all clicked when I noticed this plaque in the lobby. Okay, the camera wanted to focus on the reflection, but it commemorates the reopening of the hotel as the Balmoral in 1991, presided over by Sir Sean Connery himself, who was born in Edinburgh. One oddity about the bathroom is that in the marketing for the suite, it says that the suites have Italian marble bathrooms flooded with natural light. I mean, maybe some do, but this one has no windows and only harsh, mismatched LED fixtures. Not to harp on that, but hey, it's in the description of the suite. More products over here by the tub, of course, and one nice feature is the towel warmer, which presumably also acts as heating for the room. It's therefore not always warm and can't be turned on and off separately, but it's nice to have at any rate. A pair of good quality plush robes are provided in two different sizes. They bear the Rocco Forte logo, as this is indeed an RF property. From my non-existent research, I believe that the brand name is a Simpsons reference, meaning
Rock Strongo.
Your real name?
Lance Uppercut.
Going back out to this hallway cum closet, we find a wee little table. We're not really the types to unpack too much, so eventually this was used to precariously support our open suitcase. If you are the unpacking type, then these wardrobes will help. Actually, the hotel offers unpacking service. And yes, I realize there's an actual luggage rack in there. Good quality hangers are provided, as well as a garment bag and a lengthy shoehorn. On the other side is more storage with slippers, laundry bags, and a hairdryer. This is a Castle View suite, and being on the northeast corner of the building, it has views of the Scott Monument, Princess Street Gardens, and of course Edinburgh Castle. You can look down into Waverley Station, onto the bustle of Princess Street, and it has grand sweeping city views. I suppose the only unfortunate thing is that the windows are all either in the turrets or high up behind the couch, so you don't really get much in the way of a view while standing around in the room. That being said, for an old building, the soundproofing is excellent. Presumably both for that reason and to help with climate control, there's a second set of modern windows covering the original windows. Princess Street and some offshoots were being completely repaved during overnight roadworks during our visit, and the noise didn't bother us a bit. I should note that unless I'm missing something, the windows are kept locked and non-operable by hotel guests. Getting back to the living area, let's take a closer look at the minibar. I already have some green tea going, but down here is a box with various Nespresso pods, as well as a good selection of Brody's teas. Of course, there are a variety of sugars and other sweeteners, but no non-dairy creamers. Here, the Balmoral does something very small but quite exceptional. A bottle of semi-skim milk is provided in the minibar. I'm sure other hotels do this, but it's the first time I've seen it. And I'm certain that if you prefer non-dairy alternatives, they can be provided, as those were on offer during our breakfast at Brasserie Prince downstairs. Various beer, wine, and liquors are on offer, as well as soft drinks, tonic water, and a really nice apple juice. Surprisingly, only one bottle of Scotch whisky, but as we'll soon see, this wasn't really a problem. In the door are Scottish chocolates in a few different flavors, which were quite good. There's also a bottle of champagne and a Chablis. After we got settled in the room, we went for a quick explore of the area around the hotel. We passed by the Scott Monument and looked around the National Gallery, an easy walk from the Balmoral, which is right over there. A couple of hours later, we returned to the room and found the problem of only having a small amount of scotch had already been remedied. This is what was left for us on our dining table: a 700 milliliter bottle of the Macallan 12-year, a bowl of fruit, yet more and larger bottles of Deeside water, a welcome note from the general manager, and a Scots thistle, the national emblem of Scotland. A completely unexpected and very pleasing spread. So long as that touches on it, there's only one word to describe the service at the Balmoral: exceptional. Every single staff member we spoke to was polite, friendly, and welcoming. Even though our flight got in fairly early, the front desk had a room waiting for us, and one of the staff escorted us up to the room and showed us around. Housekeeping seemed to know when we were off premises, and so we hardly ever saw them. But the rooms were kept extremely clean, not a bit of dust or dirt anywhere, and Turndown Service was thorough. All of the window shades were closed, and there are a lot of small windows in those turrets. The lights were lowered, fresh slippers were left by the bedside, bottled water and glasses were left on both nightstands, face cream on the bed along with a breakfast order card, and the tray with laundry bags was brought out to the dresser. Plus, back in the living room, the table was replenished with even more bottled water. Further into the realm of attention to detail, the various charging cables I'd left lying around were coiled up and wrapped with Rocco Forte branded wire ties. I've only seen this done at 2 other hotels. Ever since we had baffling problems getting ice delivered to our room at another hotel, that's Amman, New York, also my channel, we decided to start timing that at other hotels. And maybe it's a little petty, but I also feel like it's a decent test of a hotel's sense of urgency. I don't know. In any case, the staff at the Balmoral were really on the ball at an average of 10 minutes for an ice delivery. Back in the bedroom, let's take a look at the most important thing, the bed. 4 pillows are provided, aside from the decorative ones, and they're not super floppy, but also not what I'd call firm. Comfortable enough for me. The bed itself, on the other hand, hard as a rock. And look at this, no give at all. Amanda's a front sleeper, so for her it was fine. I'm a side sleeper, and I strongly considered sleeping on the couch the first night. The bed measures about 2 meters, 6.5 feet wide, and the same in length. It might seem weird to bring a tape measure all the way across the Atlantic, but we found that some hotels aren't always accurate with their own measurements, for example with square footage of the room, or square meterage as the case may be. Well, I'm happy to report that Rocco Forte actually appears to be underselling the size of these rooms. Though the Castle View suites appear to come in a variety of floor plans, the plan published on their site matches the layout of our space, aside from the fireplace. As you can see, it's oddly shaped, but the area in the yellow square comes out to about 68 square meters, 733 square feet. That doesn't count the turret portion, so realistically the floor space is even larger. The website claims that the Castle View suites run anywhere from 47 to 58 square meters, about 500 to 625 square feet. But hey, I certainly won't complain about getting more space than I thought I was paying for. Speaking of being anal retentive, though that's perhaps a bad way of putting it for the next topic, I've also decided to start going all CSI on hotel bathrooms by way of a UV light. I can report that the toilets, bidet, and sinks were impeccably clean. The glowing spots you see all over the place seemed, on close inspection, to be a combination of lint from rags and cleaning fluids, and not anything of a disgusting nature. Oh, and the bathtub, though very clean, is a little on the small side, for me anyway, at about 1.6 meters long, 5'2", and 62 centimeters wide, about 2 feet. It's pretty deep, but I forgot to measure that. I didn't forget to measure the toilet, though. Also a little on the small side for me at about 30 centimeters long, that's 1 foot, by 24 centimeters wide, or 9.5 inches. But I'm about 17 stone and almost 2 meters tall, so, teach their own.
I'm 2 meters tall and I can't do a meter of feces.
Taking a belated look at the amenities in here, there are some towels and a couple of cloth napkins. Bar soap is this substantial rectangle right here, and we've got Rocco Forte branded cream, which admittedly didn't photograph well, a cornstarch sanitary bag, nail file, cotton pads, as well as a cornstarch shower cap. Amanda was a fan of that because it included the hair tie. A shaver outlet and this makeup mirror are the other, highlights over here. Over in the shower, of course, shampoo, conditioner, and shower gel, though I should clarify that specifically they're branded Irene Forte. I figured she must be related to Rocco himself. I should say Sir Rocco. And indeed, according to Wikipedia, she's his daughter and named for Sir Forte's mother. Though the Forte family did originate in Italy, they are British, as is the Rocco Forte Hotels Company, which is based in London. As of now, they operate 12 hotels between the UK and Europe, the Balmoral being one of their first 2 properties. Just some trivia for you. Shower fittings consist of this hand sprayer, and incidentally, look how clean that thing is, as well as a rainfall above as we saw earlier. The only things I have left to say about the suite itself are in regards to the technology. Internet speeds were decent but not great at a little over 20 megabit every time I checked. What is great is that there is no captive portal or limit on the number of devices that can connect, and no upsell for faster speeds. It's all complimentary. There were USB ports by the desk and bedside, and as usual I tested them. Nothing remarkable, good or bad. They don't support fast charging technologies, but offer decent and stable power at a correct voltage. As for the TV, Rocco Forte continues not to nickel and dime you, 5 and 10 pence you, by offering their selection of on-demand movies at no charge. The TV also has AirPlay and Chromecast connectivity, so you can stream from your own devices. Live TV is available, of course, as is a world radio, which is various internet broadcasting radio stations, which only kinda worked. Overall, the TV had a clean and relatively responsive interface. It was also easy to change to an HDMI input because, as usual, I brought the Roku. General thumbs up on this one. Since I mentioned paying a lot for this room, here's what I did pay, or at least the equivalent in American Express points. We stayed for 3 nights at a not insignificant $6,351 rate, an average of $2,117 per night. After taxes and fees, the total was over $7,600, or 760,000 Amex points, as you can see. I should note that this was retrospectively an unwise way in which to use my points. Much better to have waited for a transfer bonus where I could have moved them to another loyalty program and got a multiplier on the points. But anyway, here we are. While at the Balmoral, we ate breakfast every morning at Brasserie Prince, one of the hotel's 3 dining venues. The cost of breakfast was included with our room, and please pause as the menu goes by if you'd like more details on the offerings. In addition to those items, everything in the buffet is included. I'm a big fan of smoked salmon as well as cheese and charcuterie, and everything was of excellent quality. Unusual for me, but I looked forward to breakfast. Okay, honestly, I have no idea if Scottish people do this, but I found that a runny egg over haggis is a superb combination. Your mileage may vary, of course, but in any case, if you've never had haggis and find the idea of it off-putting, please consider giving it a try. I went a little haggis crazy on this trip and had it at 5 different places, including on pizza, but the first time I tried it was at Brasserie Prince when we ate dinner there on the first night in town. And here's a shot of the dinner menu. I don't always include menus in my videos because they can get out of date quickly, but this will give you an idea of the fare and the prices. All the food we had was delicious and service was great. Oh, this. This was so good I didn't even take a picture of it until I'd nearly finished eating. It was the roast lamb loin, which in of itself wasn't hugely exciting, but this sauce, holy crap, that was good sauce. The restaurant was completely refurbished in 2018. Based on how new everything looks, I'd say it was a top-to-bottom renovation. It's got a nice atmosphere and was never too loud even when pretty full. We didn't get a chance to try out the tasting menu at number 1 or afternoon tea at the Palm Court, because with only 3 nights in town we wanted to branch out to other Edinburgh eateries. We did make it down to SCOTCH, the aptly named whiskey bar just off the lobby. It's a comfortable venue with knowledgeable barkeeps and an intimidating collection of Scotch whiskies. The staff were more than happy to help us out with recommendations and information about the various distilleries. Prices range anywhere from quite reasonable to eye-watering. The only downside is that it's a small space, so we had to bypass it on our first 2 nights because it was regularly at capacity. I mean, no biggie, as there's certainly no shortage of places to try out whiskeys in Edinburgh. The hotel also contains a full-service spa in the basement. We didn't make use of any of the spa services, but we did take a swim in the rather spacious 15-meter indoor pool. It was nice, it was quiet, it was warm. There is also a sauna and steam room just off the pool, and all of this is free for guests to use during operating hours. Look, it's not the most amazing spa facility in the world, but for being fit into a 120-year-old building's basement, it's pretty good. All in all, you gotta ask, was the Castle View suite at the Balmoral worth over $2,500 per night all in? As far as hotels in this price range go, I'd say yes. Even at high-end 5-star properties, I found it rare that every single thing in the room functions as it should and is in good condition. Upkeep and maintenance at the Balmoral appears to be on point. As is service. I don't have a single negative or even nitpicky thing to say about the staff or the work they do. In fact, our experience was just incredibly positive. Everyone from the doormen to the front desk staff to housekeeping made us feel welcome and worked efficiently and effectively. Absolute home run. At the corporate level, Rocco Forte Hotel seems to be keen on putting money into the Balmoral, as the story section of their website is littered with improvements and enhancements to this beautiful building. And I say beautiful, I like it a lot. We were surprised by this view, as our wanderings took us to the top of the Scotsman Steps on the other side of Waverley Station. And bridge construction aside, even the rear of the Balmoral presents an imposing figure right in the center of this wonderful city. Indeed, the hotel is in a fantastic location for exploring Edinburgh and beyond, with easy access to buses, the tram, taxis, as well as intercity and commuter trains at Waverley. In my opinion, the hard product and the service are more than competitive in the market at the prices they're charging, and I'd recommend the Balmoral without hesitation. Rocco Forte Hotels was a brand that I'd had no real familiarity with, but now they'll be in the top of my list. Oh, and for those that are into such things, J.K. Rowling finished the Deathly Hallows at the hotel in this suite on the 5th floor. We didn't get a look inside, of course, but it's listed on the hotel's website under Forte Suites if you'd like to check it out. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. If you're interested in more reviews like this one, please consider subscribing to the channel, hitting the like button, or leaving a comment. All those things help greatly with the YouTube algorithm.